Hi there, my name is Pak and I'm from Cloud AI Engineering. This video is going to cover how you can personalize responses from your Vertex AI agent by prompting in the goal and by using the examples feature. Let's get started. In Vertex AI Agents, the response to the end user is generated. We've developed the product to give a very generic, neutral, concise response back to the end user that we think will suit a wide range of use cases. But that might not be suitable for you and your use case. I can understand if you want to stand out from the crowd of virtual agents that all seem to generate the same kind of responses. Let's get some help from Gemini again, and let's try to build a persona that is professional, reliable, and verbose. Let's look at the prompt. Now remember to use a high temperature so that with different runs, you get different results. Don't hesitate to add in extra instructions to tune the kind of persona you want. You can find out more about persona design and why it is important in our older assistant documentation site or from other internet websites. Okay, let's have a look at the output. Let's record this into a spreadsheet. And let's generate a few more persona. How about someone that is more energetic and texts with emojis? We can do that too. I'm going to change the communication guidelines and let's generate a couple of these examples and see the difference here. Okay, it looks like we have a marked difference. And perhaps it might be fair to generate something for a more international context, perhaps a persona that works in France but talks in English. Let's see what that looks like. Great. Now, we need to integrate that persona into our agent. For this, I'm going to use an ungrounded Smalltalk agent to just generate interactions with me to see if I can tune the output. Let's open the agent and update the goal to include this information. I'm going to copy and paste in the generated prompt to see if the responses change. Let's start with our first professional persona, Ava. Let's ask some questions. We can see it is verbose, logical, and following our instructions. Let's change to Anya, a slight variation of Ava, but with a slightly different prompt. I'm going to replace the style guide here in the goal and hit save. Let's ask some questions. Okay, not much of a difference here. But we expected that, right? It was the same kind of persona. Let's try Cindy. She's much more friendly, creative, and enthusiastic. I'm going to replace the style guide and hit save. She's already changed the tone of the welcome message with a much more upbeat message. The verbosity is gone, and it's much shorter and turn-based. I like it. Finally, because I'm in France, I'm going to try a French-English agent. I'm going to copy and paste the style guide in and hit save. And test it. Okay, we see some French words coming in here. This looks good. So, we've worked out how personalization prompts in the goal can impact how agents respond generally at every turn. But what if we want specific responses at a specific turn? Okay, so if we want the agent to respond in a very particular way, we have to use the examples feature and provide few-shot examples. Let's use our car insurance agent that has no examples in it to see how this changes things. Now there is also a very specific mistake in my instructions that I have accidentally left in there to also serve as a lesson for me. Let's try and interact with the agent to see how it responds. I'm going to be critical and say, I don't like the welcome prompt. It doesn't tell me that I could speak English. I also don't like this prompt here where it finds my number plate. It doesn't confirm it back to me. I'd like that. Finally, I don't like how it doesn't say the period for the quote. It is yearly and it doesn't mention that. Let's try and fix that with some examples. I'm going to use the example editor to add in some examples. You can see that you converse with it like the simulator in order to create your example. You can reorder and edit the example in order to personalize your responses and how the agent reacts. Let's review the conversation and edit the example. I'm going to edit the welcome prompt. I'll leave in the number plate response because it looks good. I'll also edit the response on the total price to make sure it says a year. The default playbook is the only playbook that can start with a user utterance, hence you're seeing this error. So let's try this again. When I say hi there, it doesn't completely work. I can see it has the number plate response and the price per year correctly, but it's still not getting the welcome prompt right. But why? The instructions in this case contain an example of what to say, and it is biasing the agent to respond incorrectly. Let's rewrite the instructions to work a little more logically and retest. It still doesn't work. Why? Well, I'm starting the conversation with this agent, so I need to make it the default agent and put in a welcome message from the user. Let's update the example and try again. And now it works. Let's run through the whole set of instructions to make sure it is working. And yes, it looks like it is working. So let's recap what we have seen. We have seen how prompting in the goal gives you the ability to change the agent personality across all interactions and the use of examples to tune specific responses. I hope you found this video useful. For more information about our product, please refer to our product documentation and more on cloud.google.com.